And for more on the dollar's prospects, we can now cross live to RT's Priya Srina in Washington, who's joined by Gerald Celente. He's a director of the Trade Research Institute there in the US. Priya, firstly, what is the reaction to this news in the US?
Well, many experts are predicting that this could be an economic battle between the United States and China, and Americans are worried that this could be the demise of the dollar. Well, joining me to help weigh in on this issue is the director of the Trade Research Institute, Gerald Celente. Mr. Celente, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, my pleasure.
First of all, can you tell me why do you think this happened?
Well, it was a trend that's been long predicted, and we've been predicting it. I say it over and over again. You can't print phantom money out of thin air, backed by nothing and producing practically nothing without destroying the dollar. And they've been doing it for decades. It accelerated in 2008 under George Bush and his building trade deficits, and then finally the TARP program that cost in excess of $700 billion to bail out the failing banks and financial institutions. And then it was reinstituted to an even greater number by President Barack Obama, printing another several hundred billions of dollars worth of valueless money. And the whole world knows it. And everyone could see it. It's no surprise. The only surprise it is that it's taken this long.
So what do you think this means for the American dollar? Many people are saying that this is the demise of the dollar. Do you think that's true?
It is true. And it's more than just the demise of the dollar. This is going to be felt worldwide. There's a major financial crisis at hand. The United States, the world's superpower, is failing on its most basic level. And that's the golden rule. Those who have the gold rule. And America's losing its gold. It's losing the value of its currency.
So what can be done at this point? I mean, should Americans, the average, middle-class American out there, should they be worried?
Well, they should be worried a lot longer than before this happened. Of course they should be worried. And so, too, should all of those countries and financiers that are holding dollars. And this is where the real battle is going to happen. China doesn't want to see the dollar collapse. They're holding trillions of them. They have to wind out their positions. They don't want to get paid back with cheap money, and nobody does. So this is really a worldwide problem. It's not only going to affect Americans.
So what's next? I mean, if no one's going to buy the American dollar, what's in store for us here in the United States?
Well, people will still be buying the dollar. What's going to happen is a greater financial crisis is going to hit the country. It happens in all countries. Just look around where their currencies fail, whether it's Iceland, Argentina, or the USA. The implications are the same. The standard of living dramatically declines, unemployment goes up. The United States is not going to capture other trade markets because the cost of their products is so much lower than, say, Europeans or even the Chinese. There's this overcapacity everywhere, and there's not enough demand to soak up the products. So this is a real disaster for America and for the world.
And do you think that there could be an economic battle between the United States and China over this? I mean, how is this going to affect the United States' relationship with other countries across the world?
Well, we were very concerned about this. We called it the bailout bubble when the United States started printing all of this thin air money. And we knew it was going to create great problems. But everyone's at fault. Every nation out there went on the borrowing, spending spree brought on by cheap currencies. So that you can't point the finger at the United States. They've all been playing the same game. The United States is just the first biggest loser. The rest of them are going to follow. And by the way, current events form future trends. If anyone wants to know where the dollar's going or the future of the other world currencies, just look at the price of gold. Now it's settling well over $1,000, and most people don't know about it, and most people don't know that it's going to go much higher because they're not following these things.
Well, Mr. Celente, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me today. And it'll be interesting to see what this news means for the American economy as well as the rest of the world. But for now, I'm going to throw it back to you in Moscow.
Thanks very much indeed, Priya. That's Priya Sridhar talking to Gerald Celente, the director of the Trade Research Institute in the US, live from Washington.